If you've spent a few weekends cozying up to saturated fats, fried snacks, and the comforting embrace of ultra-processed food, your gut may be in quiet crisis mode. While you won't feel the microscopic distress calls from your intestinal lining, your immune system certainly does. But here's the good news. Your gut is surprisingly forgiving, if you're willing to put in a little work. Rebuilding gut immunity and restoring IL-22 levels isn't about penance or punishment. It's about feeding the right cells, calming the right signals, and creating an environment where healing is the default mode, not a miracle. IL-22 is the gut's repair and defend cytokine. It encourages epithelial cells to grow back, signals the release of antimicrobial peptides, and strengthens the gut barrier. But when immune cells like ILC3S are overwhelmed by fat, inflammation, or dysbiosis, IL-22 takes a nosedive. So your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to give those immune cells what they need to bounce back. The rebuilding plan isn't revolutionary, but it is powerfully effective. First, fiber. It's not exciting, it's not trendy, and it doesn't come in a shiny bottle, but it's the single most important fuel source for your gut's recovery crew. Soluble fiber from oats, flax, apples, legumes, and fermentable fiber from onions, garlic, leeks, asparagus, bananas get fermented by gut microbes into short-chain fatty acids, especially butyrate. Butyrate is an immune whisperer. It calms inflammation, supports the growth of regulatory immune cells, and directly promotes IL-22 production by maintaining the health of ILC3S. High-fiber diets are associated with thicker mucus layers, better epithelial integrity, and fewer gut-related immune disturbances. In other words, fiber is the peace treaty your gut's been begging for. Next, polyphenol. These are the colorful, bitter, astringent plant compounds found in berries, green tea, red wine, in moderation, cocoa, herbs, and spices. Polyphenol aren't absorbed in large quantities. They mostly travel to the colon, where they interact with your microbiota to produce metabolites that reduce oxidative stress and inflammation. Quercetin from onions and apples, resveratrol from grapes, and epigallocatechin gallate, EGSG, from green tea, are especially good at boosting IL-22 expression and preserving gut immune balance. Think of them as antioxidants with diplomatic immunity. They slip past the usual checkpoints and help stabilize an otherwise unruly system. Fermented foods deserve a starring role. Yogurt with live cultures, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and kombucha all help populate the gut with beneficial bacteria that naturally compete with LPS-producing troublemakers. A healthier microbial profile leads to more beneficial metabolites, improved tight junction integrity, and, yes, increased IL-22. One study found that consuming fermented foods for even a few weeks significantly reduced markers of systemic inflammation and enhanced microbial diversity. These foods aren't magic, they just help your gut remember how to function under less hostile conditions. Don't forget prebiotics. These are different from probiotics, they're the food for the bacteria you want to keep around. Chicory root, Jerusalem artichoke, green bananas, resistant starches, and even cold cooked potatoes and rice can provide fermentable fuel for butyrate-producing microbes. The more butyrate they make, the stronger the gut lining becomes and the more IL-22 is supported. It's a virtuous cycle, and one you can absolutely eat your way into. Lifestyle matters too. Chronic stress suppresses IL-22 production by dysregulating the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, HPA, axis, and triggering inflammation via cortisol and adrenaline. Sleep deprivation, overtraining, and unrelenting psychological pressure can all wreck gut immunity, no matter how clean your diet is. Regular exercise, adequate sleep, and stress management techniques like meditation or deep breathing all promote IL-22 indirectly by regulating systemic inflammation and improving ILC3 function. Think of these habits as your gut's emotional support system. And here's one most people forget: fasting or time-restricted eating. Giving your gut a break from constant digestion can enhance autophagy, cellular cleanup, improve epithelial renewal, and reduce inflammatory burden. Studies suggest that intermittent fasting may elevate IL-22 levels and support mucosal repair, especially when paired with a high-fiber, polyphenol-rich diet. But no, that doesn't mean skipping breakfast and then diving into fried chicken at 8 p.m. The fasting has to be paired with nutrient density, not chaos. So, in summary, no, you're not doomed because of a few bad weekends. But don't expect your gut to fix itself while you continue conducting deep-fried science experiments. Rebuilding gut immunity is about consistency, not perfection. Feed your microbes, reduce the inflammatory load, and support your immune cells with the nutrients and rest they need. And one final, slightly snarky warning. You can't green juice your way out of chronic gut damage if the rest of your diet still resembles a fast food menu. 22 is not impressed by your Instagram detox, but it is deeply responsive to humble things like lentils, blueberries, fermented cabbage, and a good night's sleep.